you. Only Chris could do it that way. Hi guys, welcome to Uma's Lotus Lounge, a featured stream here on the MeetMe app. And shout out to our tagged cousins. We got a double bell for that. All right. Tag is visiting us for the week for the cookout. We are so excited of having you guys here. Thank you so much for being a part of our MeetMe family. And I hope to see a lot of your beautiful, shining, happy faces this week. All right, let's jump into it. This is a featured stream here on the app. So you guys are welcome to come and start your week with positive vibes. All right. Today, we're diving straight into a cosmic moment that everyone loves to blame. It is Mercury retrograde, guys. Yeah, wah, wah, wah. I need to get like one of those soundboards, right? With like the sounds instead of just Uma doing all the sounds by herself, right? So yeah, it is Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde runs for about 3 weeks, and we have this happening about 3 times a year, and it does cause a lot of commotion, especially in relationships. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into the astrology of the week. Everybody's going to get their horoscope. And for those of you that spin those wheels, like Chris Casper did, you guys will get your own personal message at the end of the show. You know, a little love from your spirit guides to tell you what you need to be looking out for. All right. And what's funny about Mercury retrograde is that technology breaks. And the reason why I was a little bit late coming on today is because my computer completely shut down. And that's why we had to, you know, kind of take a little bit of a moment to just get everything up and running. But we are here, and we are going to start with our affirmations. All right, we're going to start with our affirmations. So if you will, please go ahead, close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Nice deep breath in and exhale. Now repeat this affirmation with me. I trust the pause. I allow the reset, and I welcome clarity into my life. I trust the pause. I allow the reset, and I welcome clarity into my life. Is anyone ready for a reset? You know, we are starting a new year in a few months, but we're also starting a new 9-year cycle according to numerology. Numerology says that the world goes through 9-year shifts. You know, every 9 years, like the world changes. And 2025 is the last year of a 9-year cycle that started in 2017. Right? Isn't that amazing? So if you are ready for a reset, type reset in the comments. Let's see. Let's see who here. I'm ready for a reset. Can somebody type reset for me? Right? We got a couple of tagged streamers in here. We love our tagged cousins. Yes, Anthony. queen. We're going to do a reset, right? We're going to do a reset. So let's break this down. I know some of you are like, Uma, what's Mercury retrograde? What are you talking about, right? Mercury is the planet of communication, thinking, tech, travel, information, basically everything we rely on to function, okay? So when Mercury goes retrograde, it doesn't actually move backward. It only appears to from our point of view, where we're looking at from the sky. Spiritually, Mercury retrograde is not chaos. It's a review period. A lot of people like to think of Mercury retrograde as, the reason for their problems and their relationships. No. But it is a review period. Have any of you started doing that right about now, where you started like looking at things in your life or people and like saying, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about you in my life. Are you positive enough? Are you contributing to my life? Right? That's what a Mercury retrograde does. It gets you to review, right? Think of it like the universe saying, before you move forward, let's clean up what's been left behind. So during a Mercury retrograde lasts 3 weeks, okay? And a common Mercury retrograde symptoms, here's a few. Put a 1 in the comments if any of these you identify with what's going on now for you. You can have delays or changes to your plans, right? Miscommunication, a lot of quarreling, arguing with people. I'm saying one thing, you're taking it the other way. Feelings are getting hurt, taking things personally, right? Tech failures, like problems with the computer, like I just had today, right? Second guessing. I don't know. Do I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Right? What about old memories resurfacing or old people from your past? I always say Mercury retrograde is the return of the exes. And literally just before I started this show, a friend of mine came in my stream and she's like, guess who I saw in my stream? Return of the exes, right? Contracts needing revision, emotional overwhelmment. Does any of this sound familiar? This is what a Mercury retrograde does, all right? So here's the secret. Here's the secret, guys. Mercury retrograde doesn't break things to punish you. By no means. It breaks things that were already unstable. Ooh, with the black rose. Thank you, Emoji J. Thank you, Bob. All right. It breaks things that are unstable so that they can be rebuilt correctly. So you guys know I'm a psychic. You know I'm a healer. I get a lot of requests during a Mercury retrograde, right? Bob, thank you. Where we have to like look at things from the point of view of what is the universe trying to show you, right? I get a lot of people like, oh my God, we just broke up, or will we get back together? And I say to them, instead of rushing to get back together, take the lesson. Like, what is this trying to show you? Sometimes you have to ask yourself, should we even get back together, right? Should we even? So this week's astrology, I'm going to tell you what's happening this week. Ooh, 333 guys. We have 333 people in the stream. Shout out to you guys. Make a wish. Ascended masters are here helping us, But this week, I'm going to share with you what the astrology says this week. And basically, it's giving you some messages. Do you guys want to know what the astrology is of this week? Now, I usually scour the internet looking for the best place to get you guys your information, your horoscope for the week, your astrology for the week. And I usually go to astrology sites. But for some reason, it just wasn't hitting. You know what I'm saying? You need it to hit, right? So guess where I got our information from today? The Today Show, today.com, right? So yeah, hey, it hits though. It hits. So this is the information for the week of November 17th, okay? The sun in Scorpio is harmonizing with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer and Saturn retrograde in Pisces on November 17th. What does that mean? Because you're like, I don't study, Uma, you study astrology. I don't study astrology. What you talking about, Willis, right? So yeah, speak English. Exactly. Basically what that means is a lot of us are going to be looking at our visions and implementing them into our reality. We're like trying to manifest it in the current reality. The same day Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius connects with Pluto in Aquarius, which adds power to our words. So, you know, like how usually you're always talking, and nobody listens to you. You might find this week that people actually listen, you know? Mercury moonwalks into Scorpio on November 18th. Again, that's going to make us look at our communications, look at the people in our lives, try to find out who we want to stay and who just kind of needs to move on out of our lives, right? Because we're on that positive energy vibes, right? Positive energy. And Venus is in Scorpio. Oof. You know, Venus and Scorpio, we're talking about depth in relationships. We don't want that surface level stuff no more, right? We want depth. On November 20th, I think that's on Friday. We're going to have it. No, that's Thursday, I think, right? New moon in Scorpio. Mercury brushes with the moon. So we're going to be reassessing our past. And then Sun enters Sagittarius on November 21st, starting a month full of adventure. You know, we love our Sag. Any Sagittarius people in here? I'm a Sag rising, so I'm fun, right? We love Sag people. I'm fun. All right. So what does all of that astrology mean? It means that this week, the focus is on slowing down, reviewing your choices, processing your emotions, rewriting old stories, and reconnecting to what matters most. So instead of fighting the energy this week, guys, how about flowing with it, right? This is a great time to reflect, rewrite, realign with what's important to you. Hey, if you don't want to stream, you don't want to stream this week. If you want to stream, stream. This is going to be a great week to meet new people, make new friends, right? All right, let's get into our horoscopes for the week. As I say your horoscope, please drop your sign in the comments. Do I have any Aries in here? Aries. If I have no Aries, I'm going to skip over you guys. Watch how fast everybody starts dropping Aries. Aries. I don't have an Aries sun, but I might have an Aries moon, Aries rising, right? I mean, I might as well just say all of them though, because some of you might be like real introvert. Like anybody introverted like me? I'm an introvert actually, which is weird being a streamer because people are like, how are you introverted and a streamer? I don't know. I just am. Get M. Thank you. We have an Aries in the building. All right, M. This is your horoscope for the week, not just for today, but for the whole week. Okay. Aries, emotional repression and indecision about the direction you want to take in life may lead to stress. Instead of worrying about the future, try to be present in the moment. Don't repress yourself. Say how you feel in the moment. Let your emotions flow rather than holding them in and creating anxiety. All right. That is your message for the week. Do we have any Taurus? I think I saw Taurus earlier. Do we have a Taurus in here? Taurus, you have a new opportunity coming your way. Embrace the chance to make money off of your talents. Go ahead, Mike. You have all the potential to succeed, so you better show the world what you got. Take one day at a time and don't rush the process. Anything can happen if you put your heart and soul into your work. Thank you, Cape. Welcome in, guys. This is the featured stream, Uma's Lotus Lounge. We hope you're enjoying yourself here. And if you do gift me 1K in gifts, you will be getting a special message at the end of the show, your own personal reading. All right, Geminis. Gemini, you may have an ally coming from an unexpected place, meaning you shouldn't turn your back on others before they've proven themselves to you. You're going to let go of a few frenemies. We were talking about that earlier, and make room for more friends. Think of this as a moment when you're coming clear on who your true blue pals are. All right, Mark, you're going to be assessing who's really a friend and who's a frenemy this week, okay? Cancer, setting boundaries isn't the issue. Maintaining them is, if you decide on a format for your relationships, stick to it. Maybe that's not making plans on a certain day. Maybe it's deciding to reach out to an old friend. Whatever you choose to do, commit to a social setup. I feel like Cancer people, they like their home, because you think about like the crab. The crab literally carries its home everywhere it goes, right? That shell, it carries its shell wherever it goes. So yeah, don't do that, Cancer. Get out and socialize. Leo, any Leos in here? Leo, November is asking you to slow down. You usually go 200 miles per hour. That's our lions. And you're experiencing major burnout from the hard work you're doing 24/7. Bunny, stop it. Okay. To pick up the pieces of your exhausted mind and body, you should embrace moderation in your work in the upcoming year. Rest, relaxation, and self-care are key components of your routine. Virgo, do we have any Virgos? Virgos in here? Virgo, it's time for you to embrace your independence. This could mean starting your own business, letting go of emotional upsets, or breaking away from people who don't serve your best interests. The bottom line is that you're taking a stand and moving towards autonomy. The only person you'll have to answer to in the year ahead is yourself and no one else. Okay, I haven't gotten to Pisces yet. I'm getting there, though. I'm getting there. Libra, do we have any Libras in here? Thank you. Libra, you have all the tools available to help you achieve anything you want. If you maintain a positive attitude and have faith in yourself, the sky is the limit. The moment you begin to doubt yourself is where the trouble starts. So try to think optimistically when setting intentions or manifesting your goals this year. Remember, positive mind, positive vibes. All right. That is for our Libras. Are you Libra, Fred? I didn't even know. Okay. Love the Libras. Scorpio. Do we have any Scorpios in here? The sun is still in Scorpio this week, but at the end of the week, it changes over to Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius energy coming in. Scorpio, you tend to wear your heart on your sleeve, and that sentiment won't change in the month ahead. However, you will be more selective about who you confide in. To keep your private life secure, you will only share your innermost feelings with a small group of friends rather than everyone on social media, right? Facts. All right, Sagittarius. Do we have any Saggy people in the building? Saggy season is loading, coming in this week. You are taking no prisoners when it comes to your ambitions, Sag. Previously, you might have allowed others to strong arm you into taking a step back and letting them take the lead. Now you want to take your power back with full force. The caveat is that your quest for success may create tension with others, so you may want to subdue your brashness. You know, we love a good Sag mouth, right? Capricorn. Any Capricorns? I'm a Capricorn. Capricorn, you are holding others accountable for their actions. Ooh, child. November urges you to take your emotions seriously and not to placate others by putting up with bad behavior. Y'all know Uma's not with the bad behavior. You notice there's no more haters in the comments, right? All blocked immediately, expeditiously blocked. All right. If someone, and thank you, Queen. Yep. If someone acts out or doesn't treat you correctly, it's time to take a stand and hold them to the same standards you hold yourself to. No more emotional passes. Doesn't that sound familiar, Cape Verde? Aquarius, karma is real. You'll see it begin to affect people who have wronged you in unexpected ways. As these matters unfold, you must maintain a high moral standing too. Be kind to others, play by the rules, and be the best version of you. That's the message for Aquarius. Pisces, our final sign, Pisces. It's time to broaden your horizons and devise a better strategy for attaining your desires. The old ways of making moves and gaining success aren't working, so your game plan needs a profound change. Stop thinking small and look at matters from a larger perspective to embrace a different method of understanding and spiritual pursuits. Hi, Mr. Magic. Welcome in, guys. Those are the zodiac messages for all 12 zodiac signs for the week of November 17th. And don't worry, guys, if for whatever reason you're watching live and you missed your message, you can get a reading at the end, right? Thank you for the roses, right? You can get a reading at the end, a 1K gift. If you spin a wheel, you drop 100 roses. Wait, 10 roses. 10 roses. Uma's math is terrible today, right? If you drop a 1K gift, you will get a reading for the week as well. But now it is time for our positive news segment. Dun, 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 dun. I like to always take a moment to bring in some light because even during Mercury retrograde, good things are happening. So let's talk about some positive news. All right. I got 3 cute things to just make you smile and make you happy. Welcome in, guys. This is Uma's Lotus Lounge, a featured stream here on the MeetMe app. We do not accept guests during a featured show, but any other time you see me stream, please feel free to come by and visit. All right, I want to show you something that nature made, not man-made, nature made, that is just so absolutely beautiful. All right. It is a surreal frozen formation that looks almost otherworldly, but it's really real. And it's in Brooks Range, Northern Alaska. Do we have anybody here from Alaska? You know, because we are doing a live show and we have people watching from all over. Is it just the US? Quick, put in the comments where you're from. Where are you watching from? I'm going to shout out all the cities, states, and possibly countries that are watching right now. This is the beauty of the MeetMe app. It just brings us together from everywhere. All right, we got North Carolina, Minnesota, London. I was born in London. Hey, London. Texas, shout out Texas. I'm going to be there for my birthday in January. South Carolina, we got North and South Carolina in the building. Canada, welcome in, Sister Canada. We love you guys. I know it doesn't look like we love you guys right now in the world, but we do. We love you guys. All right. All right. I'm going to show you a wind sculpted rim ice tree formed when freezing fog and relentless Arctic winds layer ice in one direction over many hours. These incredible shapes only appear in some of the coldest, most extreme environments on Earth, a natural ice sculpture carved solely by the Alaskan winter. How beautiful is that? That's gorgeous, isn't it? I'm going to show you guys over here too. Right? Wow. Isn't that cool? It's like you could just look at it all day, right? It looks so unreal. Facts. All right, that's my first piece of positive news for the day. I have 2 more. It's going to make you feel good. I promise you. It's going to make you feel good. All right. Did you know Canada? We have somebody in here from Canada. Mr. 305. Thank you. Canada. In Canada's colder cities, where winter often turns transit areas into icy wind corridors, a living innovation is taking root, literally, okay? They've created moss-lined tunnels, guys. Moss-lined tunnels near bus depots. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, this is so wild. How cool is this? Look at that, taking care of people wherever they go. So amazing, right? But the moss is carefully chosen for cold resistance. So they use species like sheet moss, reindeer moss, because they thrive in low light and chilly conditions. And during the long winters, these green walls actually stay alive, hydrated by slow drip systems and protected by clear arched enclosures that let in daylight while keeping the snow out. As buses idle nearby, okay, the tunnels remain surprisingly warm and fresh, offering a sensory contrast to the concrete and exhaust just meters away, right? This is more than just a visual upgrade. The tunnels act as passive climate buffers because the moss, right? In Canada, yeah. The moss absorbs fine dust, retains humidity, and even muffles sound, creating a quiet, slightly earthy space where people can wait or walk in peace. They said, like, since they put it up, commuters have been pausing in the tunnels, touching the moss, and just feeling of life continues even in frozen months. I like the idea because, it said it's installed in cities like Calgary and Ottawa as part of sustainable transit upgrades. These tunnels turn infrastructure into something tender. I love it. Yes, there is a marshmallow challenge. So whoever sends me those marshmallows, hang back after the show. I would love to send you a marshmallow as well. You get a marshmallow. You get a marshmallow, right? So I'm going to show you again these beautiful moss-lined tunnels. Look at that. Look at what happens when we take care of each other, right? Beautiful. But you know what I think about? Oh, we got to level up. We're going to do our song. We're going to do our song, right? But you know what I like to think about? I like to think about, like, with the homeless population. I always worry about the homeless population in the wintertime because, gosh, I'm in my house and it's cold, right? Could you imagine being out in the street? So I think these, like, moss-lined tunnels will be so great for the homeless population as well, just to help them out. Thank you. Thank you for the gifts. All right, my last bit of good news before we go into our topic of the day, Mercury retrograde. My last topic of the day is Sweden. Anybody here from Sweden? Anyone from Sweden, right? Sweden. Did you know that Sweden changed the way they salt their winter roads? And it's saving thousands of birds every single year. When engineers discovered that traditional rock salt was poisoning wildlife during the harshest months, they did something incredible. What they came up with is so brilliantly simple, but so effective that other countries are now taking notice. I hope we do it in America. This is what happens when innovation meets compassion. Sweden's innovative road salt is changing the game for wildlife protection. So what they're doing is they're making their road salt edible and saving the birds from dehydration. It's made with beet extract and maize starch. It melts ice safely, but it also feeds wildlife instead of poisoning them during brutal winters. Look at that, right? So that is Sweden dropping, to ice the roads for our safety. And then they're feeding the birds. Isn't that awesome, guys? Right? And Amy Bear said, I did 1 year with my auntie Christmas dinners for the homeless people. We did for love of them all. I love it. I love all the beautiful people, right? All the beautiful people that are doing great things. And this is why I love streaming, because I feel like there's so much negativity and hostility in the world, but there are beautiful, beautiful people in the world that just want to do good and be good and help one another out, right? So let's raise the consciousness to that for sure. All right, those are our positive news for the day. My whole point of bringing up the positive news is just that we're starting the week. Let's start the week with positive vibes so we can have a beautiful rest of our week. All right, welcome in, guys. This is Uma's Lotus Lounge. It's a featured stream here on the MeetMe app. And I'm so blessed to have you guys here and so happy to meet our tag cousins. Tag, if you in here, drop a 1 in the comments. Meet Me Scout, drop a 2. Let's see who's in here mostly. Is it mostly the Meet Me Scout people? Is it mostly Tag? Who's in here? We got Meet Me. Meet Me is like, we're here. This is one of our favorite shows on the app. Did you hear that, Chris Casper? So we got it. All right. Our topic for today is about Mercury retrograde. It's the reset you didn't ask for. Here's something powerful to remember. Mercury retrograde lasts 3 weeks. It happens 3 times a year. We're in our last Mercury retrograde of the year. And some people like to say this is the hardest one, So when we are in a Mercury retrograde, it's like Mercury is known for communication, travel, transportation, computers, technology. So when it's in a retrograde, all those things tend to like take a step back. So we find like travel being disrupted. We find like like I just came on and my computer crashed right before the show. Normal in a Mercury retrograde, right? Relationships, we tend to see more arguing with people because Mercury is the planet of logic. So when it's in a retrograde, we find that people tend to be more emotional than logical. This is why I don't engage, guys, right? I don't engage with people that are, if people are like yelling at me or screaming at me or fighting me. I just had a client, right? She took off on me because she rescheduled her appointment and I wasn't available when she wanted to reschedule her appointment. And I was very kind to her. And she was like, oh, you're trash. You're this. And I'm like, I'm not taking it personally. You know what I'm saying? Because why? Why would I take that personally? I already know it's Mercury retrograde. People are all heated. So that's the biggest thing I'm going to tell you for this week, for the next two, because it's going till the 29th. So I would tell you for the next 2 weeks, if people are coming for you, don't take it personally. Not everyone has emotional intelligence. Not everyone has the ability to just say, let me think about this. Let me pause before I respond, right? So hold space, guys. Like we're here to take care of each other. So hold space for anybody who's coming at you or who's like turning up. So sorry you're going through that. So sorry I caused you pain. You know? Yeah, I'm sorry that's happening. I'm sorry you feel that way. Yeah. Welcome in, Cena. This is a Meet Me featured stream. You are so welcome here. Hey, cuz, right? Welcome in. Also, too, like we call it the review period because it's not a good time to sign contracts. Remember, if people are all emotional, you might sign a contract, and then after Mercury retrograde, you're like, oh, I don't know if I want that anymore, right? So I would say to you that review, reset, revise. I have a funny story for you guys. One time, my very first building, I have a business. I own a metaphysical wellness center, right? I'm the CEO of the Lotus and the Light Metaphysical Wellness Center. And my very first studio that I had to sign a contract, right, for a 1-year lease for my business. And it was during a Mercury retrograde. And it was me and my 2 friends. I had one friend, he was a hypnotist, and one friend, she was a massage therapist. And we were all getting our own like suites in this building. Well, they signed their contract. And I talked to the owner and I said, I know this is going to sound weird because he's like a Muslim guy, right? I was like, but it's a Mercury retrograde. Can I sign for mine like in 2 weeks? He was like, okay, you're weird, but sure, right? Money is money, weird or not, right, guys? So I did. And then do you know, at the end of our lease, I got out of my lease just fine. And my 2 friends suffered to get out of their lease, Yeah. So just remember, not a good time to sign any contracts, not a good time, to move ahead on things. Great time to review and to rest. The other thing I want to tell you guys too is you're going to get a lot of exes. A lot of exes come back during a Mercury retrograde. Why? Why would that happen? I had 1 year, I had 9 exes come back. 9. And these were people I had not talked to in years, guys, years. And they were like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? I'm like, we dated in high school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? But the reason why is because, like I said, people aren't thinking logically. They're in their emotions, right? So what happens when we're in our emotions? We tend to think about the past, and we think about people that we really liked from our past or people that were good to us, right? Yeah, that was a great retrograde for me because everybody was like, you were such a good girlfriend. You were so amazing. I'm like, I know. You know, they do. And something about a Capricorn too, right? Cape Verde, something about Capricorn women. I'm just Capricorn, Aquarius women. I don't know what it is, right? That beginning of the year. Maybe it's because, I don't know, it's the beginning of the year and people think about like, oh, new possibilities. Something. So if you have any exes returning, don't be mean, just like what I do is if I have an ex hit me up, I'd be like, hey, how are you? And they'll they'll do yeah, you've been on my mind. I'm like, really? That's cool. Just be very non-committal with it. Non-committal. All my exes moved to Texas. Good for you. But they still have telephones though. So, they can still, talk, text, type, snap, fax, right? They can do all of that stuff. All right, let's get a message for each of the zodiac signs for the week. For those of you that don't know, if you're new in my stream, I am a professional psychic and tarot card reader. I love, love, love doing my cards. It brings so much good, like inspiration, good, inspiring messages. So I'm going to pull one card for each of the zodiac signs. And if anybody in here would like a message, you're like, ooh, Uma's really good. That really resonated. I want more. Spin a wheel. Drop a 1K gift. At the end, I'm going to look and see who's dropped the wheel. And then I'm going to give you a message for the week. All right. Okay. Let's see. We're going to start with somebody. Go ahead and drop their sign in the comments. Let me see which group I'm going to start with. Am I doing the fire signs, water signs, earth signs, or air signs? Air signs it is. Air signs it is. We got two Aquarius jumped right in. All right, first card goes to Aquarius, then Gemini, then Libra. Let's see. Ooh. Aquarius, you got stand your ground. And then this one also fell out, which is obstacles and challenges. Stand your ground. So you're going to be tested this week, Aquarius. Hands down. You're going to be tested this week. Your spirit guides are saying that you have to like put up that energetic boundary. I feel like there's some people that just like to test you to see how far they could get, And I feel like you have to just be like, this is what it is. No means no. And this is what I'm saying. Especially I feel like as streamers, because both of you are streamers. So I feel like, especially for female streamers, we have to put up our boundaries a lot, That's great. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the support. No, I will not be snapping you. No, you can't get my phone number, right? So put up your boundaries this week, because it's not, these purple color cards are for your spirit. So this is not just anything happening to you guys. This is like spiritual warfare. So be aware. All right, Gemini, let's get a message for Gemini this week. Gemini, you are just creating. You got the solar plexus chakra card. The solar plexus is about being in this world, but not of this world. That's the way Jesus said it, right? You got to be in this world, but not of this world, which means that you got to find your own power. You can't depend on others for your power. And I feel like Gemini, you're really going to be finding your energy and finding your flow this week. I could do bad all by myself, right? And I feel like that energy is going to come stronger this week, which means that you could be possibly having some opportunities head your way, because that's strong manifesting power. Solar plexus, strong manifesting. All right, Libra, let's see what the message is for Libra. Libra is also manifesting. Look at that, sacral chakra. Go air signs, go. Sacral chakra and rest and rejuvenate also fell out. So I feel like Libras, you guys might be slowing down this week, but the slowdown is because you're having so much creative ideas. You're in your creative process. So you're slowing down with other things and turning your energy inwards to give your energy to the ideas that are beginning to like populate in your mind. New ideas flowing means new manifestations coming. All right, those are the quick messages for the air signs. Do we have, no, this is a featured stream. We do not have guests during a featured stream, but thank you for being here. Who is the next group of signs that we're gonna do? Is it gonna be the fire signs? It's the water signs. Thank you, Ebony. Here we go. We're gonna do Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, right? Pisces, what is your message for the week, Pisces? Look at you, Pisces. Passion ignited. Passion ignited, Pisces. This means that things are just on fire for you. You also are activated. But you see, guys, how Mercury retrograde is not a bad thing. It just means like if you can get quiet enough and allow things to slow down enough, then the messages can pour into you. You know what I'm saying? So for those of you that are Pisces, pay attention to the dreams you're having, the visions, the ideas that are flowing to you, because this passion ignited is also a spiritual card, right? Awesome. Oh, we got a wheel. Who am I doing a private reading for? Carl is in the building. We're going to be giving him his message at the end of the show. All right, Pisces, let's see what Cancer is all about. Cancer, you are being asked to have some solitude this week. Solitude. And you got fulfillment of wishes, right? Fulfillment of wishes. So what that tells me is that you're being called also on a spiritual journey this week. It feels like we haven't done Scorpio yet, but all of the water signs seems to be being asked to pull in, right? Thank you. And with this Cancer, I feel like you guys are manifesting to your highest potential. Do you guys see how many people are manifesting? We haven't even done the earth signs or the fire signs, but so many people are manifesting already. So this is a great, great week, guys, to really hone in on your vision for your life, for your job, for your career, for your relationships. Write it down. And we do have a new moon. It's the new moon in Scorpio, right? Let me check that again. Was it new moon in Scorpio or Sagittarius? New moon in Scorpio, right? Paying attention. Yeah, paying attention to your deepest desires. You know, what's your goal in life? This is going to be good. This is going to be really good. Okay. Scorpio. Let's see. We were just talking about Scorpio. Let's see what's going on with Scorpio. Scorpio, you got movements, choices, and decisions. Movements, choices, and decisions is telling me that you guys are actually like, so whereas other people, Pisces and Cancer, are like thinking about it, getting into that like quiet place, that solitude to access their thoughts, Scorpio is making moves. And that makes sense. We're in Scorpio season. We have that new moon coming in. Scorpio's like, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. I don't need no more thinking about it. We're doing it. So Scorpio, pay attention to all the actions you want to make this week and pay attention to the opportunities coming your way because it looks like things are about to take off for you. All right, that is the water signs and the air signs. We have fire and earth left. So whoever puts, hi, Nikki, whoever puts in the comments their sign, if you're a fire sign or an earth sign, we're going to pick and see who is next. If not, we're going to go with the earth signs, which I'm happy about because I'm Capricorn, right? All right, let's start with Capricorn. Capricorn, your message. Oh, new beginnings. New beginnings. Look at that. You are starting a whole new journey. My goodness. And that fell out with transformation. Wow. Capricorn, you guys are just doing it. You're doing it. You're starting a new journey. And I feel like either some of you are going into a transformation or you're coming out of a transformation. So for those of you that are going into the transformation, you're starting that journey of moving away from what was once was. And for those of you that came out of the transformation, you're moving into your new life, right? So it depends on where you're at. It depends on where you're at with it. All right, Taurus. Taurus, you got the waiting game. So this is a good card. A lot of people don't like the waiting game because they're like, oh, hurry up and wait. These things aren't here yet, but they are. They are here, Taurus. It's just, it's like your harvest isn't here, but you're on the way to your harvest. I always use the example of planting when I get this card. You know, when you plant a seed, you know it's going to bear fruit. If you take care of it, if you nurture it, it's going to bear fruit. But it's not going to, you're not going to plant the seed today and then get the fruit tomorrow. It's going to be some weeks or months even, right? So Taurus, keep showing up, keep being loyal, steady, stable, and one day your harvest is going to come in. You're literally on your path, okay? And Virgo. Virgo, you got disruption. Wow. Oof. Ooh, that disruption. Okay. Don't panic. Don't panic, Virgo. Don't panic. Virgo out over here panicking like crazy. Okay. The disruption card just says this. Whatever's falling away from your life wasn't built on a solid foundation. That's the way I would read that. Okay. It wasn't built on a solid foundation. So we have to strip it and then rebuild on a better foundation so that you can go further. Okay. That's the message for Virgo. So whatever is being stripped this week, whatever is being taken away, Virgo, you hold your head high. You hold your head high because you know that after the rebuilding, after the processing, maybe even after the grieving, that things are going to turn around for the better and you're going to feel so much more stable in life. All right. Okay. Finally, we're going to end with the fire signs. The fire signs. Here we go. If we have anybody who spun a wheel, you're going to be getting your reading. Chris Casper probably left. Carl, you can get a reading. If you're in here, let me know. Queen, you are about 350 away from getting a reading. And that's it for people to get readings today. Okay. We're going to start with Aries. Aries, a message for Aries. You got the Truth card. Oof. Right? The Truth card. That tells me that you're going to be finding some stuff out this week, Aries. And it might be disrupting to your soul because it might have been things that you did not know about. But you know what? Receive it, receive it, receive it. Because sometimes we need to hear the things that like the hard truths, but we need the truth so we can know how we're going to move. So whatever comes up this week, Aries, still give thanks that you found out and now you know. Okay. Leo, financial and material changes. Now you might have a disruption to your money flow, Leo, this week. You might have a disruption in your career. You know, remember when we talked about the Mercury retrograde, like don't take anything personally. So if you have coworkers that are trying to fight with you, you know, or they're trying to bring drama to you, don't involve because you don't want to take on like that energy when you know it's temporary. So Leo, be aware of all your surroundings this week. Be aware of the interactions you have with others and try not to get into it with people. Wherever people are at, that's where they're at. It's not a reflection on you. Okay. And then finally, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you got emotional loss. Oof. The fire signs are taking a beating. This Mercury retrograde, they're taking a beating. Emotional loss is a breakup card, right? Or it could be being disrupted, betrayed, feeling sad, grieving. So this is what I'm going to tell you, Sagittarius. Take time for some healing this week. Whatever is heavy on your heart, it could be due to actually people doing things to you. It could be to the season. You know, we're now moving into like less sun, more darkness. That tends to like upset people. It could be just you're tired, you're exhausted. I would say self-care this week, Sag. All right. Self-care this week to help you with those heavier emotions. All right. All right. Those are the astrology messages and the horoscopes and the tarot readings for each of the 12 zodiac signs. So as we come to the end of my show, I hope you guys had a good time here. And shout out to Tagged. Thank you for stopping by in my featured stream. It was so awesome to meet all of you. As we come to the end of my show, I want to remind you guys, Mercury retrograde isn't the enemy. Chaos isn't the problem. The real invitation this week is to stay centered. Can you stay centered while everything around you is shifting? That's the reset. That's the gift this week. That's the magic. And remember, each and every day, guys, you are the lotus flower rising through the mud to share your beauty with the world. So may peace, love, and light guide your path today and every day. Namaste.